Hey, hey, hey,
Hey,
everyone.
what's up? What's up?
Hey, Paul, Jerry, what's going
What's
on?
up, Sabrina? I'm blessed and highly
Amen to that.
favored.
In two snaps.
Right. Two snaps. I had to get a little pep in the step.
So definitely thank you for joining me tonight. Shout out to everybody. Everyone knows that this is the Missing Link. I am your host, Miss Sabrina Seoul, and tonight I have Mr. Paul, Jerry here with me. And I would go through the list, but you are a jack of all trades. You are so talented in so many different areas. So I'm just gonna say the talented, the
Woo!
amazing Mr. Paul, Jerry is joining us tonight on the
Man,
Missing
how
Link.
you doing, Sabrina? It's a pleasure to be on your show and to be in this space and to be interviewed, man. You're such a phenomenal, person yourself. You're a
Thank you.
published author, a stylist, from, what I'm saying, Ready to Love DC. Like, you have a background too, man. So let me give you your flowers,
Uh,
what I'm saying, right now. Let me give you those flowers.
Thank you. Thank you. I try and I'm so grateful to have a platform like this to be able to bring on amazing talent as yourself and entrepreneurs as yourself, aspiring actors and painters and
Right.
designers and I mean because especially in the DMV area, it's so much talent here, and I'm just so grateful that I have this platform to be able to show up for you guys because, and guess what, you guys have shown up for me, so I am so honored and blessed to have this opportunity. I just don't want it to go to waste, and I feel like with this
Uh,
platform we can reach, if not one, but many. But even if
amen.
we just reach one, then we've done it. We did it. We did what we were
Amen.
supposed to do.
Reach one, each one. Amen.
Reach one, teach one. That's my motto. I say that all the
Oh, see, look, we're on the same page.
all the time. So I want to give a mad shout out to all my soulmates that have joined. I want to give a shout out to everyone that is in the
Woo
chat right
woo.
now. I love you guys so very much. Definitely, if you have any questions for Paul, go ahead and put them in the comments. And if we get have a chance to get to him, of course, I will absolutely ask him. So anyway, let's move on. Everyone knows I don't like to blow smoke. I just want to get right into it. And
Okay.
the very first question I have for you, this is probably one of the most important questions I'm going to ask you tonight is, who is Paul, Jerry?
Who is Paul, Jerry? Or as most people call me, Pablo. Paul, Jerry is a son. He's an uncle. He's a community philanthropist. Paul, Jerry is an actor. I just broke into modeling. I'm a comedian, a painter. Most important, I'm a child of God. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a person who love making people feel better and love using my gifts and my talents just to make the world a better place, because we have so much hate, we have so much things going on in the world, and to be able to use the gifts that God has given me to make other people's life easier, I mean, it's a blessing. It's a blessing.
Absolutely, absolutely, and that's so important. So I
And
completely understand, and I feel you. I'm touched. So exactly. So like, let's talk about like where are you from? Where did you grow up? Like, are you like let's talk about it. Like, where did
it's
you get this funniness from?
it's funny you said it because I was actually near my old stomping grounds where I grew up at, but I was born in Providence Hospital in Washington D.C. I grew up on Rhode Island Avenue, 3007 20th Street. If you go there now, they didn't tore down. The 7-Eleven that was right on the corner. My house, is like right adjacent to a new development that they're building. I went to Langdon High School, and I grew up in Washington D.C. and I moved to Maryland, Lower Maryland, preferably, in 1997.
Mhm.
And if everybody remembers when there was a big law going around saying if you live in DC and you're going to know if you live in Maryland and you're going to a DC school, you're going to get fined $5,000 for each kid. So my dad ended up moving me, my sister, and my little brother out of DC, and we ended up moving to Law. But I'm a DC Tonian, Mumbo Sauce, what I'm saying, Go-Go, Chuck
I
Brown,
was going to
EU.
ask you because everybody it seems like I've had on the Missing Link lately has been from a native, literally from DC. And the
Yeah.
number one question I always ask is, do you like go go?
I love Go-Go,
I haven't had no one say no. Yes.
And the neighborhood I used to live in, Langdon, they actually changed Langdon Park into the Chuck Brown Memorial. So they actually got, from Chuck, from him starting out in music to, when he passed away. And I mean, he's like the father of go-go. And I mean, just using pots and pans to make music and then just that soulful vibe, like you can't find it nowhere else.
Absolutely. It is absolutely. So for the culture
Right.
there, it's so much culture and so much of everything in DC, and it's so much more than just politics. And a lot of people
Right.
don't really know that, you know? So, but anyway, moving on. Okay, I need to ask you. So let's back up. Let's back up a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, because I've been seeing, especially on your social media, is right now. Why do you call yourself Pablo, or where did you get that name from?
All right, so my grandma is like partial Puerto Rican, so that's where I got the name Pablo. So Pablo is pretty much Paul in Spanish. It's like Paul in Spanish. So people kept calling me like then as I kept saying it, people like, yo, Pablo, Pablo. So now like I got the phrase everywhere I go, they love Pablo.
I love it. I love
And
it.
that's
Oh my
how
God.
I'm like, hey, I'm like, my name Paul, but they call me Pablo. Like, yo, Pablo, okay. So it's like when I tell my name Pablo, it brings a whole different form out of people. Like they were like, oh, you speak Spanish, entiendo. So
Right,
you
and
know,
I've heard you speak Spanish on some of your reels and stuff like that. So, like, do you speak Spanish fluently?
I don't speak it fluently, but I can understand it and I can have a conversation. But as soon as it gets really, really fast, like, okay, uno momento, tranquilo, wait one moment, relax, let me process,
Right.
because Puerto Rican Spanish is different than Dominican Spanish. Puerto Rican Spanish is slower, but when you get to the Dominican Spanish, they're like, oh, I'm like, what? ¿Qué dice? Like what you say?
Right. No
And
say. No say.
yeah, like I said, yo no sé, but I don't know, so.
Right. So I feel you because I'm not fluent in Spanish, but I do know it. Like I know como se dice,
Okay,
dónde está, cómo te llama, dónde está el bañol.
okay. I'm in the bathroom, like right around the
Right,
corner.
right. ¿Dónde está cocina?
I like that. I
Muchas
like that.
gracias, papi.
And if I want to say you are very pretty, eres tú muy hermosa.
Ah, muchas gracias, papi.
De nada, no problem, no problem.
That's so funny. But yeah, I actually took it in school, but I loved it so much. I love and it's crazy because my family is French, but I took Spanish in
Ooh, okay, I
school.
know little French. Bonjour, comment allez-vous? Je
Oh,
m'appelle,
wow. Oui, oui.
Oui, okay.
Oh my God. I love it. I
Oh
love
man, we're
it.
gonna have a great time tonight, man. I can already feel it. I can
Yeah,
already feel
yeah. I'm like, oh my God, we're gonna be on here joking and laughing. I'm be like, oh my God,
it.
it's already
Right.
45 minutes in. Let me ask my first question.
Right.
Okay. So growing up, what did Paul want to be growing up?
So growing up, I initially wanted to be an architect. And I was always, looking at buildings and I was just drawing. And then I started watching, a lot of Martin and watching a lot of, wrestling. I was like, I would imitate the people that were here. Like, okay, who knows if I could be an architect, but I can act like these guys. I said, when I see like, watching old cartoons or something, they might have a British accent. I'm like, Papa, did you see Mom? And my dad like, I know you're not my son. Like, I ain't teach you that. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what we like what we say. And so like I would just listen and I would imitate what I would say. If I was like Macho Man, Randy said like, oh yeah. It's like I would start just imitating. And so people like, yo, Paul, that's really good that you can pick up and you can imitate what you see. So growing up, I started drawing and everything simultaneously while I'm doing and studying and, watching different TV shows. So I started drawing, on my homework assignments, drawing on my classwork, and I would always get in trouble. But I was like, you know what? What's the worst thing I could do? I could just erase what I drew. So then after I started drawing, the church started doing plays. And my first play I had auditioned for, you're going to laugh at this, Sabrina, but I auditioned to be Jesus. And I was like, yo, I'm about to be Jesus. And it was like a drive-through play. So they had me up, and mind you, I'm on the cross, like right when Jesus is about to breathe his last breath. So it was like, definitely an experience. And by me just sitting on, they had like the whole cross. And I mean, granted, I was sitting on it with my hands, tied up. But as I was acting, I could just feel like a weight like on me as I was doing it. I was like, man, this is more than just acting. Like I'm like recreating, a scene that was in our history 2,000 years ago. So fast forward, middle school. So now I get into high school, I'm still drawing. And I was like, you know what? I want to take an art class. So I took an art class. They had the first graphic design class at Surrattsville High School, which is in Clinton, Maryland. So I took the graphic design class and started, working on my art. And then they started doing more showcases during the school. So I'm like, all right, let me work on my art, work on my acting, work on my art, work on my acting. So now I'm learning, more about digital, learning more about Photoshop, and at the same time still doing plays. And there was a community outreach organization that I had joined with, and we did a play with this, it was like a slave museum that they turned into a museum. It's called Poplar Hill, if anybody knows about it, in Clinton, Maryland. So I ended up portraying a slave in one of the plays, and it made, the headlines, and it was like, this slave play, it's going on at Poplar Hill, check it out. I'm like, man, this is actually really, really fun. So still working on my art, still drawing. At that time, I'm making t-shirts and just kind of drawing for people in the community, just doing it for fun. And so it wasn't until I got to college where I said, okay, you know what? I need to figure out what I'm going to do, because right now I don't know what college that I'm going to go to. And when I graduated, I left Surrattsville High School my junior year, and I went to King George High School in Virginia my senior year. So I went to King George. So now, I'm learning more. Now we're doing plays with Langston Hughes in Virginia now. And now we're doing, more with sports and everything. And now I'm acting more and still working on my art. So I'm like, okay, when I do graduate, I want to graduate, which I graduated with honors and everything, with the honors graduation. And so I left and I was like, okay, what am I going to do? So I ended up, getting into sports and boxing. And I went to the University of Maryland Eastern Shore. And I was like, okay, I want to leave my mark, here at the university. So my freshman year, I ran for freshman class president and I won. And then I said, okay, I want to join the drama society, which you couldn't do until your second year. And I was like, okay. So mind you, I'm still thinking about architect design at the same time. So I'm like, okay, they don't have architect design, but they have engineering. Let me try engineering. I tried that, Sabrina, for one semester. That's not for me. Switch mid-semester to graphic design with a concentration, fine arts with a concentration in graphical illustration. So now we're starting our own TV show too, simultaneously, while balancing, my 21 credits that I had my freshman year, doing the art major and joining the drama society. So I said, man, I really love bringing these characters to life. And my acting teacher at the time, which was Mama D, Della Dammer Johnson, she was doing the Dinner Theater, Motown, and much more. And we just kept on doing it, and it just started growing from there. And I started getting more attention, and I ended up doing a commercial for Obama's administration. It was called the I Vote campaign commercial, which is on YouTube. And we shot it in DC, and it ended up airing in New Mexico State to encourage Black American voters. And I mean, we got more to talk about, but that's just like the start of our start.
I was getting ready to say, I don't even want to ask any questions. I just want you to keep talking. Like, you're giving so much great information. And this is exactly what I want everyone to see. I want everyone to look at Paul and say, dang, if he can do all this, so can I. He looks like me. I can do this too.
Right.
Like, you have accomplished so much just in that short amount of time at such a young age.
Right.
And you're talking about your early teens, early 20s, and I'm sitting here in awe, like, you've done all that.
So I left out a part that I was going through adversity during that time. So in 2003, it was a very, very rough year for me. My dad, he got hit by a car and he went to the nursing home. My family, we got separated. Correction, we got evicted because at the time we were living in a mostly white neighborhood. So I used to tell my little brother, like, John, don't hang out with these people. You know what I'm saying? They're not good for you. He hung out with them anyway. They broke into an apartment building and they vandalized one of the apartments. And they cut the water on in the kitchen and in the bathroom, and it flooded out the whole apartment. So they evicted me, my mom, my dad, my little brother. So I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to go at. So I left the part out while I'm getting ready to go to Surrattsville. My mom was like, she wanted me to have a father figure in my life because we were going to be separated. My mom and my little brother went with my grandma. My older sister went with my older brother, and I went to go live with the pastor. So now I'm in, the pastor's care, and, everything, is going good. So I'm living, under his rule, and things started to change, and he started to get more controlling. So I ended up meeting a mentor my sophomore year. And my mentor is the one who kind of got me to like really kind of get in shape and to get physically fit. And like, okay, Paul, I see you doing your acting, I see you doing your art, but you need to do like a sport or something, like something so that people don't pick on you. Cause I used to get picked on all the time. Like people would knock my books out my hand, they would, call me names. And I was like, all right, all right, all right. They were like, what? I said, man, I'm good. Life is good. And it feels good to be a part of life. They was like, I just knocked your books out your hand and you complimented me. And I was like, yeah, man, I said, man, I don't got no reason to fight you. So I was always going through like the opposition. So my junior year, I leave Clinton and I go to live with my mentor. So that's how I went from Surrattsville in Maryland to going to King George in Virginia. Like, yo, Paul, you're about to leave your whole school to go to a whole new school your senior year. I said, man, look, it's time for a change and I got to be ready, to adapt. And when I went there, I must admit that God has allowed me to leave my mark at every school I've attended, every university. And when I went to King George, they had a very, very high birth rate. And if anybody know, you living in the country, all you doing is messing around, you know what I'm saying, or playing sports. You don't have nothing else to do but hang out at the gas station, play sports, or make babies. So I was like, you know what? Let's start doing something else. So we started doing Let's Talk About It. We started doing car washes. We started taking the kids from Virginia to DC, letting them see that life is so much bigger and broader than what they see. So I get ready, and UMES actually wasn't my first college choice. My first college choice was Harvard. And Harvard had heard about everything I was doing in King George. I was like, man, you're acting, you're doing plays, you know what I'm saying? You're doing art. They said on top of that, you're a scholar, and you know what I'm saying, you're the captain of the wrestling team, which was pretty much mostly white wrestling team. And I'm like the only black captain of the wrestling team. And they said, man, we love what you're doing. They said, look, you're gonna go through 8 weeks of cuts. And if you make it to the last cut, you're gonna get a full ride. And I was like, man, I can get a full ride and I could be that architect that I've always wanted to be. And so I make it to the last cut, Sabrina, and they tell me, hey, Paul, I wrote an extra letter of recommendation, but you didn't make the last cut. A guy from Missouri, he wrote a symphony in Beach. I'm like, a symphony? I said, well, I guess that's more than what I'm doing. So I looked at UVA. I said, okay, let me try UVA. They have wrestling, they have, architect design. UVA said I made the cut, but my GPA wasn't high enough. In Maryland, we're on a 10-point grading scale, but in Virginia, you're on a 7-point grading scale. So if you have a 92 or 93, that's still considered a B. You have to get a 94 in order to get an A. And if you have a 76 below, that's all C's. If you have anything from 76, 78, 79, that's all B's. And so I'm looking like, what? So now I'm trying to figure out, where I'm going to go. And in UMES, I'm going back and forth with my mentor. And like, yo, Paul, like the students thought I was a student before I was a student. And so when I got there, it was almost like home. I said, man, I feel like this is my home and this is where I want to be at.
Wow. Like, I feel like after this, I feel like I need to have you come back on for a whole nother interview to talk about like your upbringing and the adversities and the challenges you had to go through as a child, because I went through some of the same things.
Wow.
And I was bullied in school, and and I talk about it. I'm very transparent. I'm very open. I always have been, with my life and the things that I've gone through, domestic violence. I mean, and I put it out there. But yeah, I would love to have you back on so we can talk about like some deeper issues, but we're not going to talk about that right now, but I would love to have you back on to discuss that. Okay.
Absolutely.
So let's go back and talk about, because you went to school, you talk about graphic design. And I know right now, and the reason I want to discuss it, just a little bit is because you do have, and I did see on your social media, on your Instagram, that you do have a design page. And just to let everybody know that all of his links and everything, it's down in the description box below. So it's under this video. So if you want to learn more about Paul, if you want to follow him on social media, just go down below.
And I follow back. So I'm not a person that don't follow back. So after the interview, I will follow everybody back.
Paul will follow you back. So I want to talk a little bit more about your designs. What do you paint? What do you design? What do you create when it comes to that creative side of you?
When that comes to that creative side, like, I love boxing. Like when I was in college, I did a painting of Mayweather and Muhammad Ali, and I said these two boxers were to ever fight, this would be like the greatest fight of all time. So a lot of times my passion might come from sports, by me being a boxer, or it might come from just black love. Like when I do like my sip and paints, I always try to like paint something that will bring life to people, whether it's a sunset or whether it's just one of my favorite paintings is that it's a black guy holding a girl like this, and she's like holding his hand. It's like just a connection that you can just see with the guy and with the girl, and just showing that, look, man, love is love, and you love what you love. And I figure that, if we can express how we feel, whether it's, a picture of you or a portrait of you with like your glasses on, like, hey, look, you are perfect the way you are, whether you wear glasses or whether you're wearing straight Sabrina, or if you got the Holly Berry cut, right. What I'm saying? Just showing people that, art is subjective, and no matter what you think is beautiful, everything is beautiful. And it's like when I'm getting motivation, I might be outside running, or, I might be at a grocery store. I'm like, man, those fruits look really, really cool. Or the other day, I was walking through the mall and I saw this shot in Sephora. And I was like, I would love to paint. It was like a black female, and it didn't show her eyes. It was like from the nose down, and it had this red lipstick, and she had some nice chocolate skin. It had like a red background. And I was like, ooh, I said, that would be nice, And people have been asking me to like, draw more, I'm not gonna say provocative, more free expressing art, and I mean, I will get to that point, what I'm saying, where like my last one, I did something showing the contours of the woman's body, but making it not look as sexual. Cause like when I was painting, if you did something painting a woman naked, what I'm saying, like you were like kind of frowned upon, like, why are you painting that? Like, is that what you think about all day long? Like, but it's like, no, like, the way the human body looks in anatomy is free expression. Like when you look at David and you see his sculpture, he's naked, just holding, what I'm saying, right, his rock and his sling, what I'm saying? So my motivation, it comes from like just driving around, seeing stuff, or seeing sunsets, or talking to my family, or, thinking about causes. Like I had painted Colin Kaepernick, and I put the quote across his face, if you don't stand for something, you'll fall for anything. So it all depends on like how I'm feeling, what I'm saying, and what I want to draw next, and what I might see that like, what, that might catch my eye. Like I really, really like that.
So do you draw on objects? Like if I have my cup here, like will you, if I'm like, what, I want you to draw my logo on this cup, but I want you to make it these colors and add flowers and some sparkle, some glitter, or like, do you do special orders for
yeah, clients? I do a lot of special orders. Some people, they want digital art. Some people, they want me to paint, like you said, maybe paint a cup, or I don't have it on, but some people like, can you paint my cap and gown? And what I'm saying? But I was like, when you're an artist, you could paint on any platform. What the most interesting one, somebody said, can you paint on my firearm and change my gun? I was like, what? You wanna? I was like, well, with the gun getting hot, like the paint can melt, and it won't stay on it. So I don't think that might be the best thing to paint on. So I mean, people make so many different requests, but like I get a lot of requests for shoes, custom jackets. I love painting shoes. I just did one for my nephew, and I got what is it called, Bugs Bunny, and I got Taz, and this has the Looney Tunes.
I saw it, half and half.
Yeah, the half and half. So like I love doing stuff for kids, and painting stuff to make them smile. Some kids might want Sonic on their shoes, or they might want Fish Stick from Fortnite. So I mean, it all depends on what they like. What I'm saying? Right. But I just draw on anything that I'm possible.
You're inspired by, yeah. Do you? So I heard you mention Sip and Paints. Do you still host Sip and Paints down there?
I do. We're trying to figure out the next one now, but the last one I did was for Mother's Day weekend. And to let people know, our Sip and Paints, they come with the twist. So I tell a little bit of comedy, what I'm saying, while I'm doing the Sip and Paint. We do karaoke during intermission. So the last time, we was playing like all, Mother's Day songs, and the people was like, I'm every woman, it's all it be. You know what I'm saying? And then we had a joint, Sweet Love, got me calling out your name. So it's like, we just like to like make people feel good, you know what I'm saying? And depending on what the genre is or who the audience is, we had some women, singing songs from her. We had some women, singing Bruno Mars. So just, incorporating that and letting people just freely express themselves.
Yeah. I love it. That sounds like so much fun. I would be up there, honey. I would have everybody. We would be a whole band by the end of the night.
Look, I'm telling you, look, Sabrina on the 1 and 2s, mic check, dum dum.
Right. I'll be up there serious.
Dum, dum,
I'll be like, y'all
dum,
ready to
dum.
record? Like hit the record, like hot testing.
Right.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Is that too loud? Mic check. All right. We ready? We ready? All right. Bring the trumpets in. All right, bring the horns in. Okay,
so you just brought it up. How ironic, because you're right on time. The universe must be working in our favor. So, okay, let everyone know, because you actually are also a comedian.
Yes, I'm a comedian too. And actually, I broke into comedy because I'm always telling stories. And I'm like, yo, Paul, like the stories you tell, they said, man, that's comedy. They said all comedy is real life stories. And bro, something happens to you every single day. And I was like, you know what, you right. Like, I mean, just the other day, right? I'm walking out of 5 and Below, and I see this tall guy walk by me, and I like to de-escalate. You could feel when something not right. So the guy walked by, I said, man, have a blessed day. He looked, he like, I said one day at a time. I didn't say I had a dime or some weed or something on me. I was like, how did you get that? And he's like, oh, my bad. So it's like, funny stuff just happens to me every day. Like even when I'm at work, you know what I'm saying? Like, people don't know, but I'm a police officer full-time as well, on top of balancing being an actor, comedian, an artist. And like we run into like a lot of funny situations, at work. And like I said, I'm like 15% Puerto Rican, maybe 25 on a good day. You know what I'm saying? So you just never know how much Pablo is gonna come out. So I see this guy, Sabrina, and he's driving. And he got a headlight out and a cracked windshield. And I was like, what in the world? I said, man, all right, that's probable cause. Let me stop him and see what's going on. Okay. So I was like, yo, que lo que? He said, hey. I said, Papa, I said, you don't got no light. I said, your windshield cracked. He said, yo sé, meaning like, I know. I said, Papa, I said, tiene licencia registraciones. You got license and registration. And he said, no license. I said, Papa, you don't got no license? I said, that's no bueno. He said, yo sé. So he gives me a passport from Honduras. And I'm looking like, Honduras? I said, Papa, ¿dónde vas? Where you from? He was like, South Carolina. And I'm looking like, his tag said North Carolina. So he must think I'm dumb. I said, all right. So I said, Papa, uno momento. So my supervisor's looking like, is he even Spanish? I thought he was just black. Like, when did Pablo start speaking Spanish? So now he's like confused, and he like, yo, just don't see right. Like, I was like, yo, uno momento, okay? Uno momento. I mean, wait 1 moment. So I go back to the car, and I grab my mic. I was like, yo, dispatch, I need you to run this guy to DC, Maryland, Virginia, and North Carolina. And I said, just add Texas and Minnesota to it, just in case. So they like, all right, Sabrina, they run him, and he doesn't come back on file. I'm like, damn, I got to arrest him. He don't got a license. You need a license to drive in the state of Maryland.
You don't even have citizenship.
He don't have citizenship. So I'm like,
I don't have a license.
Adios me, yo, this is no bueno. So now I call my buddy up, Sabrina, from Nicaragua. I said, yo, Dennis, I need you, bro. He said, Paul, que lo que? I said, man, how do you say, do you have any guns or drugs in the car? And he was like, all right, so he tells me this long joint, and I'm lost. He said, ¿Tiene algunos drogas o armas en la coche? I said, what? I said, all right, slow down. Say it slow. He said, ¿Tiene algunos drogas o armas en la coche? Sabrina, when I tell you, I look like I was slow, trying to like do it in the car. I know they're probably looking at me driving like, ¿Tiene algunos drogas? I'm like, ¿Tiene algunos drogas en la coche? ¿Tiene? Oh, all right. Woo! Got it. All right, dispatch. I'm gonna be out the vehicle. So I get out the car. I walk up to the car and I said, yo, Papa. He said, Papa. I said, Papa, ¿tiene algunos drogas o arma en la coche? In my mind, I'm like, yeah, I did it. I said it right, no mistakes. And he looked at me, he said, no drogas, no drogas. I said, armor, meaning like, okay, I know you got no drugs in the car, you got a gun in the car. He said, no armor. So like, whenever I get lost, Sabrina, and I can't say the Spanish, or I don't know how to say it, like come to the back of the car, I just use the accent. I say, yo, Papa, like, I need you to step out the car and come through the back. My supervisor, he's like, yo, he not even Spanish. And he don't know that I'm mixed. So he comes to the back of the car, he gets out of the car, comes to the back of the car. I said, Papa, I need you to turn around. Let me see if I can do it real quick. I said, Papa, I need you to turn around and place your hand behind your back. He said, Papa, for what? I said, Papa, look, I going to explain everything to you, okay? One moment. So I put the handcuffs on him. So now, I read him as right, like, yo, entiendo. And he's like, see. I'm like, okay. So then I drop him off at the cell. And I kid you not, Sabrina, I come to him a day later. I go to the McDonald's and I see him walking towards me with a purpose. I said, oh, snap. I was like, should I call dispatch? I said, God, I don't want to die, man. I said, could have been El Chapo. He could have been a leader of the drug lords, man. I arrested him. And so all of that, it don't even happen like that, Sabrina. He walks into the car. He said, Papa. I said, yo, ¿qué lo que? Me like, yo, what's up? He said, Papa, you arrested me yesterday? I free today. And he walked up. I said, Papa, look, that's all I want for you, Papa. I said, Papa, look, you drive to D.C., Maryland, VA. I said, Papa, you go to the whole United States. I said, no problema. He said, yo, tú sabes. I said, tú sabes. I said, Papa, you want a number one, number two, dos? What, you want, a Big Mac? I said, I here for you. And so, like, after that, like, when I started, like, telling people, like, the story, like, yo, Paul, this is funny. I was like, bro, like, me and my ex, when we had broke up, like, talking about that, I'm saying? Like, bro, like, you never realize how much you don't have until you break up with your significant other. Yeah. I said, man, when my girl broke up with me, you would have thought I got evicted. She took everything out the apartment. I said, the couch, the bed, the TV, the furniture. I said, I had like 2 forks and like 1 spoon. I had nothing. So I go ahead, I get an air bed. I'm thinking the air bed is better. Now I get an air bed and they don't tell you got to buy a pump with it. It's like batteries sold separately. Oh, I'm still sleeping on the floor. So all right, I upgraded from the floor to an air bed. And you sleep on the air bed when you sleep at night, you like sink in.
Sink in from losing the air.
It don't stay the way it's supposed to stay. So I was like, man, I can't keep living like this, man. I said, I'm fighting for my life. My neck hurt, my back. I was like, dang. And so like, just like telling like the stories. And I was like, man, I said, you know what? Forget that, man. I said, you know what? I said, I'm about to get me a sugar mama now. I said, you know what? I said, man, sugar mama, she makes sure I eat 5 times a day. I said, man, I get to use her healthcare benefits and I still working 9 to 5. I said, that's what I'm talking about. I said, I put the handicap sticker in the car and I get front row at Walmart. I said, I'll be parked right in the front.
They gonna give you a ticket. Right. Like, Pablo, ¿qué pasa?
And I said, yo, ¿qué lo que? I said, I get out the car, act like I got a little limp on me just to make sure I look handicapped. And it's like the more I started telling stories, I'm like, yo, Paul, all you got to do is take the stories and put it on a timeline. And I was like, you know what? You are so right. I never thought about that. So when I watch other comedians, I look how the comedic timing. I went to see Chris Rock at the Lyric, and he was like amazing. I just seen that how he gives you a background. I ain't mean to make you cry, but it's tears of joy.
I love it.
It's tears of joy. So
yeah, absolutely.
I started doing it, and it's like, most people, they've been like doing comedy all their life, but I just been telling stories about my life, about my dad, what I'm saying, and him being cheap. Like, could you imagine, Sabrina, if you go to McDonald's and your dad buy you a meal and he tell you don't eat the whole meal, right? So now you got extra French fries, you hungry, and he would take it to another McDonald's and say, hey, the fries is cold after we done ate it. I was like, Dad, you can't do that.
No, stop. In real life, did he do that?
In real life, he would do that. Like, I would be in the middle about to eat. Like, say for instance, I would be in the middle, right? About to eat like some graham crackers or something like that. And my dad was like, yo, give me that. I'm like, Dad, what you doing? He said, I'm taking it back. He said, I'm gonna get my money back. I said, Dad, we done ate 2 boxes already. Why are we taking food back we need to eat?
Right.
And he would take it back for gas money. And it's like, my dad would do so much stuff. And like, sometimes I be feeling like it rubbed off on me. Like, I'm so conservative and cheap.
Yeah.
Like, I'll see some chicken for, $9.87. I'll buy the one for $9.13. It's only like 50
I'm
cents.
the same way.
What? See?
I'll be like, hold on. I'll be like,
let me calculate it. It don't feel different.
like, is it worth
my
it?
stomach. I'm dead. But yeah, man, so I got into it. I did my aunt had invited me out to my first comedy show, and the guy was like, yo, this is your first time doing comedy? I said, yeah, like I never did stand up, a day in my life. He's like, man, you were good. He's like, well, look, let me bring you back on. And so I was kind of happy that doing the comedy kind of like helped people to see my funny side, because like my roles that I had in film were all like cop roles. And I was like, you know what? I want to do some funny roles. And I ended up getting a funny role in Thanksgiving Roast, which is on Amazon Prime. And I try to tell people, look, I don't look as clean cut as I do right now on Thanksgiving Roast because I'm playing the crackhead. So I look different. His name Cousin Boo Boo. So, but yeah, that's how I got into comedy, man. Just taking a leap of faith and trying it out and getting on stage. And I was like, man, I love just talking to people and making them laugh. And my feeling is, and my belief is, if you laugh more, you cry less. And that's why I look so young for 32, because I laugh a lot. You know what I'm saying? So I don't got no wrinkles or nothing, because I'm always laughing. But if you sad and going like this, you're going to start, building that. And you look like you laugh a lot too, Sabrina. So that's why you don't have no type of marks or anything.
Oh my God, let me tell you. And it's crazy because this laptop does not have a filter, okay?
Wow.
So
sí,
but
eres tú muy hermosa.
So let me just say, no, like in real life, I completely agree, because I'm gonna keep it 100. I'm almost 50. So let's keep
what? When I saw you Saturday, like I really thought you was like 34. Like, man, she probably like my age. You do not look 50 at all.
Yes.
They say black don't crack unless you want it. So
right. No, but you're absolutely right. People ask me all the time, like, why do you look like so young? Like, what is your beauty regimen? Like, what do you do? And I'm like, you know what? Keeping it 100. I feel like somebody made a mistake on my birth certificate. That's how I honestly feel.
Wow.
Because I'm like, I don't feel it. I don't look it. I don't act it. I remember when I was like 20 something, I used to look at 40 some year olds and be like, dang, they old, they 43, dang, like they real old. And 43-year-olds, 44-year-olds, or mid 40-year-olds 20 years ago looked like they were 40 some years old.
Yeah, right.
Years old. You know what I mean?
It's so funny you said this. I went running today right before the meeting, and I met 2 other guys. Didn't know they were the same age as me. They looked like they was about 41. Right. And they was like, yeah, man, I said, I'm 32. They was like, you 32? I was like, yeah, how old are you? Same age. I was like, ooh.
Wow. Yeah.
I was like, man. I said, bro, like, you got to keep your body up. And I got people that graduated from my college that still don't look young, people from my high school, even people from the police academy. I like, bro, you can't let yourself go. And one thing I will say, like, you got to eat good. Like, you could work out like a racehorse, but if you're not eating right, cooking food, eating fresh food, you know what I'm saying, and juicing. Like, I don't drink and I don't smoke. You know what I'm saying? I try to do the hookah. I be coughing. I'm like, Jesus. God, like, yo, get that out your system. You know you shouldn't be doing that. Like, it was so bad too. Sabrina, I know you about to say something. One more thing. When I was in college, my mom got me a flask, and I would put juice in it, act like I was drunk. So I'd be drinking. I'm like, yo, we lit. I said, they were like, Paul, what you drink? I said, man, you can't have none of this. I said, let me get some. I said, no. This is my personal stash, because if they would have smelled the apple juice or orange juice, they're like, bro, you lying. You're not even drunk. Leave the party. Woo, all right, let me go to sleep.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Like it's serious though, but honestly, you said it, like, you know, and I think the reason we do look as young as we do, and we're aging well, is because honestly, I literally, when I was in my early 20s,
Right.
I figured out life. I didn't figure it all the way out, but I figured out exactly what I needed to do and how I wanted it to be for
Amen.
me.
Right.
And I said to myself, I want to live every day literally like it's my last. I want to do all the things that they said that I couldn't
Amen.
do.
Amen.
I want to, you know, scream at the top of my lungs when I'm happy because I'm at a
Right.
concert, and, you know, or
Right. Right.
whatever.
Looking fantabuloso.
Right. If I'm walking through the mall and I hear a song I like, I want to dance to it, you
Right.
know,
Right.
and I do that
Amen.
now, and I still that in my 9-year-old daughter. And every chance I get,
Oh.
we're like, we could be in the middle of Home Depot and she'll be like, a song will come on and I'll love it and I'll start dancing. She'll be like, Mom, you're always embarrassing me. And I'd be like, dance with me, baby, dance.
Right. Right. Right.
Like, you
Oh.
know, she's 9 now, but she doesn't understand it. But I think when she gets older, I just feel
She
like
gonna
I have to
understand.
start it now, because when she gets older, she'll appreciate it and she'll start to understand it as she
Yeah.
gets older. You
I
know,
agree. And you probably don't think she retained. She probably sucked. It's like, you know what?
all
Well, I'm
of
pretty
it.
cool, man. I know I be saying
Yeah.
that, but I don't really mean it.
Yeah. But
You
she
know how
does.
kids are.
She's
Wow.
coming along now. She's coming along. I'd be like, you know what? You know, you got a cool mama, right? She'd be like,
Right, right, right.
yeah, you know,
I
so
do, ma. I do.
yeah. So I think she's starting to get it, but it's really just living your life to the fullest, to and
Amen.
being in waking up every day and thinking to yourself that you can be a better you today, being the best version of yourself and being better than you were yesterday. And make
Ooh, you hit it right on the money.
Yeah, and making a difference. When I do stuff for other people, like really
Okay.
stepping outside of me and saying to myself, what can I do to make a difference today? I promise you on everything, because I used to be a very selfish person. So,
Wow.
you know, who I am right now is not who I was 15, 20 years.
Woo.
I've
Testimony.
overcome it took me a long time to get to who I am and where I am today. And that's
Wow.
why it's so important that I protect my peace, and I won't let anyone come into my life or anything come into my life and take it away from me, because I worked really, really hard to get to exactly where I am today. But anyway, this is not my interview, honey.
Hey, we here for it. We here for it.
Positive energy, honey. I love it. Positive vibes. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. Whew, Lord have mercy. Let's get okay.
Want to do it?
Honey.
Want he will.
Facts. Okay. So the comedy that you do, you said that pretty much when you perform, you're performing life experiences, but you're doing it with a twist. You
Right.
know,
With
I mean,
this.
because at the end of the day, it has to be some type of format that you do. So tell me, okay, let's go here. Name me or tell me some of the places where you have performed your comedy.
Okay, the DC Comedy Club. I
Mhm.
performed at what's the name of that club in New York? It's off of McDougal Street. I performed at the fire station. What's the name of the other spot? DC, not DC Improv, but the DC Comedy Club.
Mhm.
It was one in New York, which was just past January, and
Mhm.
then the fire station was like the first one. So it's been about 3 spots that I performed at so far. People have been telling me, you know, they got like Nottingham's. I know Martini's is starting up now doing comedy every Thursday. So
Oh,
I think I
wow.
would love to kind of go up to Martini's, because I actually did a sip and paint class at Martini's. So I think that'd be dope to go from now sipping and painting to, you know, doing some comedy and
Right.
telling some joke. You know?
That's amazing. That's amazing. I think you should absolutely do everything that you can do. So,
Absolutely.
okay.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about the meat and the potatoes, honey, because all these talents that you have, but in real life, like you're on the big screen, like you a whole actor out here, like in
Yeah.
real life, you know? And it's so amazing because as an actor, you have to portray so many different characters, and with
Right.
your background, I feel like you as an actor, you fall into each part so easy,
Right.
you
Right.
know.
Yeah, that's so true.
Yeah. So how do you feel? So okay, let's start here. So when did you start acting? When did you have your very first role? Let's
My
start
like
there.
my very first role was after, what was it? That was in 2017. I had just did 2 plays with my acting coach Percy Thomas, as one as a slave, one as a crackhead. And so after the 2 plays, I said, God, look, I'm ready for a film now. So I auditioned for this
Mm,
film called Second Chance, featuring Prince Paul, which you can check out on YouTube right now. And I went and auditioned for like a background actor. And when I went for that role, they was like, you know what? Why don't you read for the lead? I was like
mm.
me, the lead? Like I'm just reading for like background. They was like, no, I think you should be the lead. So I auditioned for the lead and booked it, and we started filming like 2 weeks later. And I was like, wow, mind you, Sabrina, that was a free project. It was a student film, but it got me so much footage,
Right.
showing my serious side, showing me, you know what I'm saying, my emotional side, showing me my working side. So it's like it just shows so many dynamics of a young man getting caught up in the wrong crowd, which happened to me a few times when I was in DC. So I was able to kind of pull from that.
Relate
And
to it.
that's what, my acting coach kind of helped me to do and use sense memory. Because when you see an actor act and he's crying or he's serious or he's angry, like he's pulling from previous experiences. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like when you get mad, Sabrina, you might not be pouting, and you might just get quiet, like, okay. You know what I'm saying? You might do a silent treatment, so, or you might, lash out. So everybody has a different way of showing that emotion. Like when you happy, you're not like, you might be like, wow. You know what I'm saying? So that was actually my first role that really just started opening up more and more doors for me.
Mm. What is your dream role? Like, what is that role that you haven't yet gotten, but you're like, if I could do that, like, that would be like it. Like,
Like
that
I
is
had
my
two.
dream role. Like, I want to play X, Y, and Z in X, Y, and Z with X, Y, and Z doing X, Y, and Z. Like, what is your dream role?
Man, my dream role would probably be boxing in the film. And having Denzel Washington in it, Debbie Morgan, just showing like the stuff that I went through, with boxing, because I had a coach, you know what I'm saying, that, was very, very hands on, you know what I'm saying, and controlling, and like just, telling that story, getting used and getting money taken away from me, and just, bouncing off, from that. But I will also love to play a superhero. Like I love running.
Mm.
Like The Flash is like my favorite show. You know what I'm saying? That's like if I could
Isn't
be
that
super
Marvel?
speed for Marvel, like I
I
would
love
love to
Marvel.
like do a flash run, like Pablo said it. You know, hey. So those would be like my dream roles: a boxing movie and a superhero Marvel film. That would be like my two dope, because I believe, like, back in the day when we watched movies, they shape culture, and movies can push you into a positive mindset or a negative mindset, or it could just have you, in between that gray area. So like I
Right.
love being a part of like inspirational movies. So I want to be like an inspirational movie because of my life overcoming adversity, losing my brother, losing my mom, and just fighting over so many things. And God is still like, yo, I got my hands on you, and you can't see it right now, but everything you're going through is working out in my ultimate plan.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to trust the process. You know, a lot of times you go through things in your life that aren't always favorable or
Yeah.
will make you sad, but everything happens for a reason and you have to trust the process. And we don't know the reasons at that time. The only thing that
Woo!
we're asking is why? Like, why me? But it's a reason behind it. And it's kind of like now I started to ask myself, why not me? You know,
Amen.
yeah,
Amen. I'm glad you said it, because I've been feeling like that too. I'm like, you know what, God, why not me? I'm
yeah,
deserving. I work hard, you know what I'm saying? I take pride in the craft. Like, why not me? Instead of why me. So I like the way you said that. I like the way you
yeah.
said
It's so true. It's so true. And just being patient, because what happens is people. are so impatient. And that's one of the things when I mentor people, I try to explain to them that you have to be patient. Like Rome wasn't built in a day. That tree that's outside your house, it was planted by a little seed. A
Amen.
little seed. And it had to grow up from the ground to
Right.
sprout its branches, its roots, its leaves, and everything to become this amazing, strong, beautiful tree. But it had to weather storms to get there.
Woo! All the
You know,
seasons, the
honey,
hot days, the cold days, the rainy days, the dark days. You know,
right, right.
wow.
Standing alone.
Mm,
You know? Just have to
yeah,
be patient. You got to trust the process, and you just got to keep planting those seeds. You
amen.
know, it's not going to happen overnight, but as long as you're consistent, persistent, you have faith that it will happen. You're strong, you know, and you know that, and you have to manifest it too. You have to you got to do the
Amen.
work. You
And
know,
you took it right on my mouth. Like, you got to speak it into yourself. And I always tell people, like, the voice inside of you has to be bigger than the voices around you, because like you can easily get manipulated if you're not, focusing, just giving yourself them positive affirmations. Hey, look, I'm smart, I'm important, you know what I'm saying, I'm beautiful. They can tell you ugly all day. Look, I'm beautiful, I'm gorgeous, you know what I'm saying. I used to be ashamed of my height. Man, I'm so short. They're like, Paul, don't you realize half of Hollywood is short, man? Don't worry about your height. It was like, God bless you with a lot of gifts, and height just wasn't one of them. Yeah, you're
Absolutely.
right. You're right. So
Amen.
I'm comfortable with my height now. Like, you know what? I don't need to be 6 foot. You know what I'm saying? I'm comfortable with my 5'5". You know what I'm saying? Look, I can box. I can handle myself. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I figured if I was that height, I would have been intimidating. Being a police officer, being a boxer. You know what I'm saying? Being all these talents, and then they looking up. But when you see a short guy with all, he's like, yo, how does all that fit in that guy? Like, how did he do that? How do you do that? So it's almost like a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, you're exactly who you're supposed to be.
Amen.
Period. Period. Yeah.
Who you
Yeah.
better have me? Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. I feel the energy rating from you. I think that you're an amazing person. I mean, you had me on here about to cry, about to laugh. I'm smiling. You know, this energy is so amazing, and I feel like you are not that I feel like you're destined for some amazing things coming your way. Hence why I gravitated towards you, and I wanted you on the missing link. You
Amen.
know.
Amen. I appreciate it. I could feel your vibe. Like when Warren was like, yo, Paul, you need another lady right there. I said, man, I saw, but I didn't really get to get introduced. And I said, man, she has a phenomenal dress. Like, I don't see nobody at this event with a glittery dress like that. Like, she's sparkling. Like, if it was
I made that
Cinderella,
dress.
the clock is not about to hit midnight, and it's still gonna be there. Like,
Heck yeah. When I get dressed, I get dressed because I want people to see me. You know what I'm
right. Yeah.
saying?
When you
Coming
step
and
out, you
going.
step. Oh.
Yeah, yeah. So, but that's an old dress too. I've had that dress maybe for like 8 or 9 years. I made that dress. I don't know if you heard me, but I made it. So it's one
No,
of
I
my
did. What?
yeah, it's one of my very first pieces.
You're very talented too. Multi talented.
Thank you.
People can't make dresses. I can draw on a shirt, but I can't make a shirt.
Yeah, yeah. But I
that takes
can't
time.
draw, so
Look, we gonna work with each other. We gonna work with each
right.
other.
Right, absolutely. Okay, okay, so let me ask you, okay, so what are some audition tips that you can give for aspiring actresses or actors that are out there that's watching this now or will watch this later?
Okay, so when you're auditioning, remember that the casting director is looking for someone that's unique, different. So when you go, first of all, don't go into the audition dressed as the character. Like,
Mm.
I'm not about to go into an audition tape dressed as a crackhead. They want to see you in your regular person changing into the character. So whether it's in person, so hey, when you introduce yourself, always do eye contact, when you're looking at the camera. But before you even do the introduction and everything, you got to make sure you have a plain background. Right now, the industry standard is blue. You can use gray. A lot of times, if you can't buy the backdrop, you can buy a sheet from Target, Walmart, get the pins, stretch it out, and just make sure, what I'm saying, you're in the frame. Also, too, make sure you have, I wouldn't wear this during an audition tape. Make sure you have colors that complement your skin, like Sabrina. You If you had that shirt would work perfect. But you got to have something with like no logos and plain. So like if that was like all the way gray, that would be perfect. You know what I'm saying? Dark skin people, lighter colors bring out your skin tone. Light skin people, darker colors bring out our skin tone. So I might wear purple or red or, you know what I'm saying, an army green or anything like that. So when you're reading and doing the audition, just be yourself. You know what I'm saying? Granted, do some research on the role, whether it's a doctor, whether it's a lawyer, whether, you know, but have fun with it, because a lot of times the casting director doesn't know exactly what they want to see. So when you introduce yourself, I used to always tell people, you know, before you start and you do your slate and introduce yourself, just smile just like that, because a casting director takes a screenshot of like the first 3 seconds. So you looking like this, you looking like that. Like they're gonna that's what they're gonna see before you introduce yourself. So when you introduce yourself, you look at the camera. But when you start the scene, you look off camera. Now this is when you're doing it on your phone for like a video self-submission. Now when you're in person, you want to kind of look at them. Like the last audition I went to, it was for DC Broadway. So we went up, and one more thing, you have to be ready for last minute changes, because sometimes the casting director might give you a script last minute and you got to read over that. Like, so you have to be very, very able to adapt to the changes. So with me, I went to the DC Broadway audition. They gave me the scene. I'm reading it, studying for about 35 minutes. They switched the scene at the last minute. And I'm like, oh, snap. So a good actor, you can kind of read and start to think about the character that you're going to play. Okay, let me give a background for the character. Where did he just come from? What did he just eat? What is he thinking about right now? How is he feeling emotionally? So now I'm reading the script. I say, okay, it's about, you know, a guy not wanting his girl to leave him because their kid died. So I started thinking about when me and my ex broke up. And so as we're talking about the kid, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, it's my kid too. I said, you're not the only one missing her. So now they looking, they're like, oh, snap. It's like they reading. And so now I'm starting to build out the character, and like towards the end, sometimes you can go off book. So at the end of the she's like, baby, she said, look, I'm not done. I said, babe, look, no, don't leave. Look, listen. Mind you, this wasn't even in the script. I said, babe, look, like, I know we going through this, but please, like, don't leave. I need you. So the casting director was looking like, yo, is this in the script? Like, that was good. So a lot of times the casting director doesn't know what they want, but they do know what they want. So when you're giving out, you know, your personality and you're acting out, you know what I'm saying? Have fun. You know, make sure you're speaking articulately. Some casting directors, they don't like you to like improv too much, but if they're giving you the script last minute, you got to submit it in like 2 or 3 hours. Then you got to kind of like do what you can to like memorize it. But just to rewind, make sure you got a plain backdrop. Make sure you have a plain t-shirt that complements your skin tone and that's opposite of the background. So the black right now is going against the white. Now, if I had a black background with a black shirt, I'm going to get drowned in the casting right. Can't see it. So they want to be able to see, you know, how you can do things. So, and run it a few times, you know, get a good study partner, read the script over 3, 4, 5 times, try to memorize it as much as you can, and then go ahead and shoot it. But when you be yourself, when you have fun, I take every audition like a comedy stand. I said, look, they about to get to know Pablo today. I said, okay. You know, one acting role I auditioned, and it was a Spanish role. And I was like, okay. I said, you know what? I'm going to have a little shirt. I'm going to show a little chest. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to try to look like the role. And so, you know, I said, you got to shimmy? I said, Papa, I told you to get to shimmy. I say, Tony isn't happy, okay? I should have Mimi there at 3 o'clock, okay? I said, okay, vamos. Now, it wasn't even on the joint, but I was like, you know what? If the guy's walking away, I said, look, when that puto drives off, get rid of him. Vamos. So the clap and vamos, I just threw that in there. Because I was like, you know what? That sound cool. And it's like, yo, I like that in there. Like, vamos, okay? Feel like that. So you never know what you can do to just add more flavor. But, like, just have fun with it, you know. And it's okay to be nervous, because I still get nervous. You know what I'm saying? Like at the DC Broadway, my stomach, you know what I'm saying, bubbling. I got to run to the bathroom. I'm like, why am I nervous?
I get the BGs all the time, too.
Yo, the BGs. And it's bad You know what I'm
On
saying? The
the
bathroom, you want to go to a bathroom away from everybody, so they ain't like, yo, yeah,
right. You
okay,
like,
yeah.
oh
Yeah,
dang.
like let he do that bathroom. So,
Right.
so just have fun with it. You know what I'm saying, and like take your time. You know what I'm saying. If you get stuck, start over. You know what I'm saying. Sometimes those pauses, might bring the casting director, in. But whether you're a girl, you know what I'm saying, like depending on how you wear your hair, you know what I'm saying, you might jazz it up, you might have the bush, you might have the low cut, you know what I'm saying. Don't get too crazy with the makeup, you know what I'm saying, on it, because they want to kind of see what you look like in your raw form.
Right.
Another thing too, make sure your headshot looks like what you look on camera. You know what I'm saying? So if they see you with, flat hair, and then they get into the audition and you got, what I'm saying, the Erica Badu with the crew, they're gonna be like, is that the same person? So you don't want to catfish the casting director, if that makes any sense.
Right.
You don't want to catfish them.
Yeah, because they can turn you and make you into the person that they need you to be on set.
Right.
So,
You know what I'm saying? So, just try the waters and just test out so many different things. One audition, I grabbed the clipper and like, I said, "Oh, we going out tonight. Oh, we about to be good." Like, so you might just have little props. If it's like a phone, you know what I'm saying, you might have a little salt shaker, huh? What you mean?
I do that all the time. I do it all the time. Like when I'm on live, there's a lint roller that I've used for so many different things when I go.
Right. Yo, and when they see you do that, they're like, okay, this person is creative. They think on their feet and they think fast. So like when they do that, you know what I'm saying? Like I remember when I auditioned for the Thanksgiving roast, I had to come up with a pizza box. So I just grabbed the box. I said, man, what's going on? I said, we got some stuff. I said, man, this is the pizza you ordered. He was like, I ain't no pizza. Man, get you there. You just special pass for our #1 customer. And so like, as I'm doing it, they looking like, yo, like, if I wouldn't have had the box, I probably wouldn't have got it. I was like, hey, hey, you order pizza? You order something? Like, it might have come off funny, but it wouldn't have been the same. Because, back in the day,
The
you got
pizza.
pizza box.
Right.
And so you put like this, you ordered this, you know what I'm saying? It don't even got no flap, but you acting like you got a flap. This your name? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So, you just bringing it to life. And I say, when you audition, it's almost like a probable cause statement to a judge. When a judge reads our probable cause statements in the courtroom, it's a very, very detailed description. This person was going this direction. He went this. He was wearing this, doing that. So when you auditioning and they get a chance to see you in character, they're visualizing you on screen already during the audition.
Right. Yeah. So real quick, because I think you mentioned this, but you were so fast with it. When you're actually recording your audition and you're submitting it, you said that you want to start off on camera with a smile.
Yeah, start off with a smile. Just count like 3 seconds of like.
But then when you start saying your lines, you want to look away from the camera.
Right, you look away from the camera, but the introduction is always so I'll give you an example. I'm getting ready to like, hi, my name is PAULCJERRY, non-union from Washington, D.C., and I'm auditioning for the boom, boom, boom role. And then you switch. And so after that, that's pretty much your slate. After you say your name, whether you're union, non-union, what city you're based out of, and then the role you're auditioning for, and then just look off. But don't look off too much. I tell people, find like a spot on the wall that you can look at.
You end up like this.
Right. And if you like this, they can't see your eyes. But if you like right here and they see you looking, like, like, so they want to see, casting directors want to see your eyes. Like, I don't know what it is about the eyes, but they want to see, okay, how does this person look when they're giving off, that line.
Right. Okay. Okay. Wow. Okay. God, I want to ask you this. I know time's a ticking, but I want to ask you this. So did you have to learn any special skills for any roles that you've played in or that you've done in a movie yet? Like, have you gotten there yet?
I would say I don't want to say the crackhead was a skill, but like learning like that character for the crackhead. But a lot of the skills I kind of had training with it already, like, using the firearm, shooting, holding the firearm and everything. And I haven't did no combat stuff for now, but I would love, that's why I said the boxing would be like an ideal, because I
Yeah.
box, so I'll be able to use that.
Okay.
But as far as skills, a lot of the skills I've already had through like, you know, policing and, you know, swimming, and just like I'm always just trying to be real rounded. Like I had to learn, actually I did have to learn one skill. I had to learn tennis for this short film that I had got casted for. So I had to learn tennis. That is a hard sport. Like I give my props off to Serena Williams. Like, yo, Paul, you hitting the ball too hard. I hit the ball, it go over the gate. I was like, dang it. They said, Paul, look, all you gotta do is do a soft tap, soft tap. And you got the curve and you got the English. I'm like, I just want to hit the ball.
Yeah, it is hard. It is hard. It's fun though once you get like, you
Yeah,
know,
once you get it, you
yeah.
know. But I haven't got to that part. But if I had to like be like, you know, secret agent detective, like, you know, my job has trained me like a lot with defensive tactics, dealing with an active shooter, you know what I'm saying? Dealing with that. So like any type of like, and I put that on my resume too. Like, you know, I'm a marksman and a Glock, you know what I'm saying? And on a 40 caliber, a 380 caliber, a shotgun. So that's another thing too that you want to put on your resume as an actor, all of your skills, because you never know what they're going to end up using, you know,
Right.
for that.
Right. Weren't you just recently on a show that was filmed in Baltimore?
I was. Dang, how did I forget about that? Yeah,
I
we
didn't.
own this city. We own this city. It's based off of the Gun Trace Task Force back in 2017, starring John Bernthal, Jamie Hector, Trey Chaney, and like so many other actors. And a lot of the actors that were in the last movie I was in, Thanksgiving Roast, which is on Amazon Prime, are in this series as well too. So you can't miss me, but they made me shave all this hair, so I got the baby face.
Oh,
But
wow.
you'll see me in like the first 40 seconds of episode 1. I'm a police recruit, and we're in like this. We're in Sergeant Wayne Jenkins Academy class, which is John Bernthal.
Wow. And where can they see this at?
They can watch it on HBO Max. It's right now on HBO Max, and episode 5 just dropped on Monday, so they should be on episode 5 right now. And it's a limited series, so an episode comes out every Monday, so they can catch up from the last 5 weeks if they just getting caught up.
So we own the city.
Yeah, we own this city.
We own this city on HBO Max, guys.
HBO Max.
Yep, check it out. Check it out. Wow, that's amazing. Okay, so let me ask you this. What do you love most about being an actor in acting?
What I love most about being an actor is being an actor is probably one of the coolest jobs, because it's like, you know, if you're a police officer, all you're going to be is a police officer. You're a doctor. When you're an actor, you can be a police officer, a doctor, a dancer, a crackhead. You know, you can be anything you want. You know, you can be a basketball player, a football player. It's like the sky's the limit. And it's like acting is like, you know, bringing out who you are to the world and like just showcasing it. And like I tell everybody, I wouldn't be where I am now if it wasn't for, you know, my acting coach, Percy Thomas, and my auntie Starletta Dupois. You've seen her. She's like the grandma of Hollywood. She's been in Next Friday After Next. She's been in The Notebook. She was Whitney Houston's mom in Waiting to Exhale. She just got back from Haiti from filming another movie. And she just received her honorary doctorate degree from my college, the University of Maryland Eastern Shore. So she is an amazing actress. And to my actors out there, like, you have to have a coach. Like my acting coach, he just sent me 2 monologues. Like, even if you're not on set and you're not in a movie, you should be studying. Mm-hmm. Acting is a study of behavior. So like when you're out, like just today when I was out, no, yesterday I was out editing some stuff, and I was looking at this guy that was mentally challenged. I was just seeing how he act and how he was fidgeting, and he just couldn't stay still. And I, you know, if I had to do a role, like how would I reincorporate? He just kept tapping. He's like, "Oh, you pretty. You real pretty. I like your hair." You know what I'm saying? So it's like when you're looking at people are who we are. And it's like you're learning, you know what I'm saying? It's like learning from, you know, a kid, whether a kid is nervous, and learning how this person acts and what they do. So it's like acting is like a study of behavior, and like the world is your classroom.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a study of behavior. That's tight though. You're so right. That's what acting really is.
you know.
Wow. Okay. So what do you like least about acting?
Sometimes, well, what I like see it's so long filming. Like the
Yeah.
scene. Let me just tell you about the scene on HBO that you're gonna watch tonight on HBO Max. We're filming in this school, Sabrina. This school in Baltimore doesn't have no AC. It's just heat. We got police uniform, we got vests, everything on, and we're like hot. They're giving us water in between each take. And it's like, but we have to get this scene. So we got the fan on, but in between takes, you gotta cut the fan off and you gotta, film. You know what I'm saying? So like the conditions are never what you see on camera. When I was in which was the one from Netflix, House of Cards. I was in episode 1 of season 5, episode 1, with Kevin Spacey. And we had to make this scene look like it was summertime, and it was like 30 degrees. We have on no hats, you know what I'm saying? We're just yelling out, "Not my president." So it's like what you see is not what you actually go through. And it's a long, long process. But the more you do it, you kind of just love it. Like some sets are 12-hour days, and when we were on set for We Own This City, it was a long day. Some people almost passed out because it was so hot.
Wow.
So it's like, you got to be ready. And I would say you have to make sure you eat before you go on set. Because you don't know when you're going to get a break. Normally you get a break after like 4 to 5 hours. You get a break, lunch break. But definitely go in there with something. Tiffany, Soulmates, please support.
You're so fun. Yeah,
I just saying that.
Yeah, it's a couple of things that I've put up there that she put. One of the other things that she put was that to follow you on YouTube. To check out your techniques. Yeah, she is the best. She's one of my moderators, and she's amazing.
Look, I'm giving you your flowers while you're here.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's probably the least thing I like, just the time. But sometimes sets go by fast when it's an organized set and you got everything. But like that scene, you should have seen the cameras, Sabrina. The camera's almost like the size of this table that's in front of me. I mean, it's like a like a $250,000 camera. You know what I'm saying? And like you shooting this one scene a million ways. Like they got Sabrina. Okay, I love you. All right, from the right side, I love you. From the back, I love you.
Yeah.
From the quarter angle, don't you know I love you? So it's like you got to shoot one scene so many different ways.
In real life, Paul, keeping it 100, reality TV kind of, even though it's reality TV, we go through the same things too. Like a lot of people don't know that if it's a scene that we're shooting where, let's just say, for example, we're in the ladies' lounge and nephew Tommy is there and he's talking to us.
Okay.
Sometimes we shoot that 4 different times with different angles.
I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah.
So Ready to Love, right?
Ready to Love.
Okay.
Yep.
Right.
So sometimes the cameras are behind me. Then they'll be like, okay, cut. They turn the cameras around. So shoot a different angle. Then they turn it around again where it's shooting straight in front of them. Then they turn it around again. So literally for one scene, sometimes we shoot it 4 or 5 different times. And then that's how they edit it, put it all together. And they show him sitting here this way. But then you see him sitting here and the camera's this way. But then they cut and he's still talking and he's looking at this person. But the camera's facing that way because we recorded it those different times.
So I got a question. I know you probably had a question, but so what if you're throwing something across the room? You know what I'm saying? Like, how do they re-record that? Like, if it breaks something.
So, okay, so say for instance, when that part of it, the reality TV is reality TV, that's just how it is.
Okay.
That's just how it is. Like, if they missed it, then guess what? They missed it.
They missed it. Okay. Yeah. Wow. I always wondered how to reality TV, and I mean, you was with my frat brother Walter, so that's what's up. That's cool.
Yeah, it's so funny. It's a whole nother world, but I get it. I actually was on The Wire, so I was on.
What? Congrats!
Yeah.
So this is like almost a 20-year reunion where We Own This City from The Wire, same director, everything.
Yeah. It was amazing just to be on that set. I want to say I was on season 4, episode 5, maybe. I can't remember. It was the funeral scene.
Yeah, season 4.
I
episode?
think it was the funeral scene when the mother was at the funeral with the mayor. They were talking to each other, and it was her son that died. And like you see me walking up to the casket, and then and I'm walking up with a man. I don't know who he was. I think he might have been my husband. I'm not sure.
Oh wow.
But he and I, we walked up to the casket, and I was crying, and I sat down and I was crying, you know. So
Oh, and that's another good thing about acting. Like, you know, you got so many brothers, you got so many wives, you got, you know, uncles, aunts, like, and that's another thing I like about acting. It's a big family. Like Thanksgiving roast, like that was like a family. Like my first really big feature film that I was in. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, man, like the way they were so professional. You know what I'm saying? Nikki made sure everything was on point. The director, you know, Trey Walker, you know, starring Trey Chaney and everybody. And then I DP Abstract Media on Instagram, and then Rotten Goose Productions and Collective Media Group. Like when we had the Thanksgiving scene, when y'all watched that on Amazon Prime, that was like real food. Like I'm like grubbing. We had like the yam, the collard greens, the macaroni and cheese, the turkey, the stuffing.
who
I'm like,
could?
this real food? That's my first time eating real food on set.
On
like
set.
it's a meal. Like you should have seen it, because I mean I'm about crackhead drunk and I'm eating like, it's good. They looking at me like. So I can only imagine what it looked like, me in character, you know, eating and looking around and you know, trying to sneak, because they're like, don't eat too much so that when we film it, they can still show some food on the plate. Like, that shit is so good.
Right.
My scene coming up. All right, I'm coming.
Yeah. Right. We had to go through that too, like with the continuity of it. I remember because, you know, when they're transferring the camera, I remember, because one thing about me and when I was shooting Ready to Love, I ate to the point the producers were like, Sabrina. They like,
wow.
I mean, I just like, people would be talking and I'm just like, they're like, tell Sabrina to stop chewing so hard. Like I just was going to town, and then they would shoot and all my food would be gone. They'd be like, what was on Sabrina's plate? Somebody put back the food that was on her plate. And I'm like, oh, dang, my bad. I didn't.
You didn't eat it all.
I used to get in trouble all the time for eating.
Oh, man. They said we're not disciples if we're not breaking bread. Dude.
Oh, my God.
Oh,
okay,
man.
So what projects are you working on currently? And if you're allowed to share?
Okay. So, well, I can't say the name of the project, but it's a Netflix project. Really, really good. And I'm working on, I was a actor on this new series. I don't know, I'm not saying if it's new, but it's called Hush on the series All Black on the network All Black.
Are you allowed to say it? Oh.
Yeah, so
yeah.
And then the other one,
you weren't at the premiere, the after party at Air this weekend.
Yeah, I was supposed to be there. I was so tired.
You didn't come because that's where they had the after party.
I was so tired. Like my allergies started acting up when I left the lounge. Like my eyes was acting out. I was like, man, I'm seeing Rob. I'm seeing the producers. Everyone like, man. I looked on Warren's page. I'm like, dang, how did I miss that? So I might have to just go to the premiere. You know what I'm saying? To the premiere. Okay. But I'm in another film that's coming out this Christmas. I don't know if I can say the name, but it's gonna be on BET. It's gonna be on BET this Christmas. It has what's my guy's name from the Parkers? Is it Darion Johnson? Professor Ogilvy.
Okay.
One thing, his name is escaping, but Professor Ogilvy from the Parkers, he's in it. Apostle Vero, she's in it as well. That was a really, really fun project as well. And I actually just wrote my first feature film. So it took me catching COVID last year to finish writing the script. And like, God gave me the idea and I was like, you know what? This is going to be a touching movie. I want to film it starting January of next year. I applied for my copyright, Sabrina, because I want to do things the right way. And January, I just got the copyright. So now my script is officially copywritten. I'm definitely going to be probably, needing some, extras and stuff for a lot of the boxing scenes and stuff,
Mhm.
or like the training scenes or like the street scenes. So when we
Mhm.
start, putting the casting call out for that, I definitely would love, what I'm saying, to keep some people in it. And to be honest, man, I'm thinking about thinking about something that you could be in right now. Like,
Okay.
yeah, like it's a one scene where I need like a reporter,
Mhm.
discussing, me coming out of retirement, what I'm
Okay.
saying, fight and like looking at, what I'm saying, the screenshot, you uh want to do it. So
I got
I want to put a lot of people, on this project, almost kind of like We On the City, and just like,
you. Mhm.
show what the DMV, has to
Yes.
offer and everything like that.
Yes.
Like you said, we have so much talent,
So
here.
much.
And it's like, I'm going to LA, next month for a networking party. And oh, I forgot to tell you, I just did a Father's Day commercial too
Mm.
for a brand out in LA. And this commercial is very special to me because
Mhm.
7 months ago, my dad was in the hospital and he was non responsive. His blood pressure was low. He had aspiration pneumonia. And like we prayed for him to get out of the hospital. And he came out. And I'm thinking to myself, like 7 months later, I'm gonna be, cutting his hair in a Father's Day commercial. And so
Oh.
like, man, like it was like really, really like, touching. And I
Yeah.
really, my dad's been in the nursing home for about 17 years, going on 18. And that's like my time that I had with my dad when I cut his hair. And even at his age, man, like when you look good, you feel good. You know what I'm saying? And my dad, like, he always tell me, like, look, man, I got 2 wives. I said, Dad, what you mean? Like, you got 2 wives? He was like, man, I got Alberta and I got Martha. And I was like, which one you like more? He's like, Alberta. I was like, well, look, when I finish cutting your hair, Alberta really gonna want you now. He was like, so, it's just, special. And I'm glad people kind of get to see. Because at first I used to be ashamed of my dad, you know what I'm saying, having a disability and being in a nursing home.
Mm.
But I started realizing that what I thought was a hindrance in my life was actually God putting a strength in my life. Because that video I posted of him, Sabrina, was 2 years ago. And they found the video on YouTube. No, correct, on my Facebook. And it's like, yo, this is the exact message we want. And I'm like, what? So yesterday I sent the video out to the guy, the rap. He said, Paul, this is heartwarming. He said, man, I'm about to send it to the CEO. I was like, yo, bro, right now? Like, you about to send it right? He said, all right. And he's like, yo, the CEO loved it. He said, bro, like you edit, better than the people on our team. And I was like, wow. And I was like, I take pride in like everything I do. And,
Yeah.
you have to just, think outside the box, as an actor. And, everything isn't going to be cut and dry. And the road to success isn't always going to be a straight path. You're going to have some detours, some pitfalls. But if you just stay the course and weather the storm, it's so much better on the other side of that rainbow. Man,
Absolutely. And I just want to say, because you actually have that video on your Instagram page. Um, don't you have it on there, right? Or am
yeah,
I?
I think you might have to
I
scroll
looked
down.
at all like your different platforms, so I just want to make sure
Uh,
it is on your Instagram, right?
it's on my Instagram. I think I have a recent video of me cutting his hair. It might have been before he went to the nursing. I mean, before he went to the hospital.
Okay, because
November.
I
So
did
I
see
might
it.
try to like put it back up on my story if you
Uh-huh.
follow me to so you guys can see the video of me
Yeah,
cutting my dad's hair.
I saw it because he was laying down in the bed and he had like the towel around him,
Yeah. So my
wiping
dad
his.
name is PAULCJERRY, but he always compares himself to all the greatest MJs. He's like Michael Jackson, Michael Jordan, Michael Johnson. I was like, oh yeah, that is Michael Jerry, MJ. So like
Yeah,
that's like his thing. That's like his
yeah.
thing.
Yeah, that's amazing. I just want to say that I did see that video and it did touch me right before my mom passed in December. And my father has dementia. I actually cut and dyed her hair and cut and trimmed my dad's beard. And it's funny because I
Wow.
recorded it. It's one of the last videos that I recorded of my mom before she passed. And when I saw that video, I swear I was in here like, oh my God. I
Oh,
was like, I gotta get it together. But it
wow.
reminded me of what I did. And I just commend you and to just, and to just remind you, definitely stay stronger.
Yeah.
The universe, God, they don't make mistakes,
Amen.
and everything happens for a reason. And
Yeah.
that video that you did of your father, look where it placed you. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
because of what he went through, now also too, you have a story to tell, and you are that son that every father needs and wants. And to
Yeah.
you be able to share your story and to have other little boys grow up and turn into teenagers and adults, and they see this video, they're
Yeah.
like, wow, that's who I want to be. I want to be just like PAULCJERRY when I grow up.
I appreciate it because it was really rough because like when he went to the hospital and I was like, I got off of work. When I went to see him, he was like on all these ventilators and stuff. I was like, it's not my dad. He don't look like my dad. His face is swollen. I said, but I'm gonna keep praying. It was a song that I was listening to about Maverick City Music, and it was called Jireh. And it was like, I will never be more loved than I am right now. Wasn't holding you up, so there's nothing I can do to let you down. And I was like, everything I'm going through, man. I was like, yo, dad, you gonna make it through this, man. You gonna make it. And I kept going. I kept going. I was praying over him. And I would play the song, and like I could just see his hands moving. And even though he couldn't open his eyes, I was like, yo, dad, I know you listening.
Yeah.
He finally, when the doctor called, he opened his eyes. I said, look, I'm on my way right now. And he said, yo, Paul, I need you to play that song you played the other night. I said, ooh, I said, dad, I'm about to play it right now. I said, so I played it, and he was like, he loved Glory to Glory by, Fred Hammond. It was just like, man, just seeing his progress. I'm like, yo, 7 months later, and we're in a video together. Like,
yeah,
God, the way God works is just so beyond me. And it's like, I can never fathom, how it works and how he does stuff. And I feel like he puts, it was almost like I was going through a Job phase, what I'm saying, in November, because my ex had broke up with me, which was, I was talking about it in a funny way, but that was real. I got hurt on the job. I put a muscle. I lost $11,000 investing in cryptos. And then my dad went to the hospital. So at that moment in November, I was like, yo, God, what are you trying to tell me? Like, my ears and my eyes are open. You touch my finances, my relationship, my family, everything. He's like, yo, Paul, when I'm trying to take you at, I got to take some people out your life. And I got to make sure you grounded and you rooted. And I was like, say no more. I said, I'm grounded. And when I went on the fast, the beginning of the year, and I started fasting, God had spoke to me. And I was like, I never really heard God talk to me until like recently. He's like, yo, Paul, I see you doing your acting. You're memorizing scripts. You're not studying scriptures. And I backed up Sabrina. I was like, wow. What? So the first scripture I memorized was John 17:5. Oh, Father, glorify me together with yourself with the glory that I had before the world was. Matthew 4:4. For it's written that man cannot live on bread alone, but by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of God. And it's like I just kept going, boom, boom, boom. Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the plans that I have for you, plans to prosper, not to harm you. And it's like I could just feel my spirit. I'm like, you know what? I gotta start studying scriptures and not just scripts, because scripts are gonna come and go. But the scripture is going to be in your heart forever. And like that just changed my whole outlook. My bad, I didn't mean to get emotional, man. Like,
no, this is a safe place. And everyone that comes on my channel knows that I promote positivity and love and light. And that's what this channel is for. This interview that I had with you tonight is one of the reasons why I started the missing link for you, for this, what we're talking about right now.
Wow. I appreciate that.
I appreciate you.
Like, oh,
you are the truth. You are the truth.
I tell people it's not easy. I say, life doesn't get easier. You just get stronger. But the stronger you get, the easier life becomes. Because it's like, people always be smiling. Like, Paul, why you smiling, bro? You knew what I've been through.
Yes.
You be smiling too.
Yes.
I was like, it's like, Paul, you like always happy. I said, bro, I had a crazy past. Like getting separated from my family, losing my siblings, losing my mom, like, getting separated. Like, it's just so much. Getting manipulated, getting used. Like, and it's like, looking where I'm at right now, I'm not the same Paul that I was in 2016 or the same Paul I was before COVID. And it's like, God had to like, redirect me, because he sees that I'm able to just connect with. Like, Paul, you're the only person I know can connect with any race, Asian, Indian. Like, people just gravitate to you. And they was like, you know, what is that? I said, bro, it's God. I don't know. I said, I can't describe it, you know, but I'm just using my light to help other people, you know what I'm saying, feel better about this world, because we do not fight against flesh and blood, but against principalities and higher forces. And the devil is working. And if you haven't noticed all this stuff going around, like the wars, you know what I'm saying, the pandemics, like, it's meant to keep us in bondage. But if we focus on what is all around us, we're going to forget the strength we have within.
Yes. Because it's a lot of evil going on right now. I can honestly say, because everyone knows I'm very transparent, I can honestly say I probably broke down about 4 times today because of what happened in Texas. And, you know, we're just in very unfortunate times, and it takes survivors like ourselves to keep bringing the light into the world and shining and speaking our truth as loud as we can to the top of our lungs, to spread awareness and to just spread love and light. Yeah. Wow. Let everybody know where they can find you, Paul.
Oh, man. You guys can find me on Instagram at PAULCJERRY, PAUL, the letter C, and then JERRY. I'm on Facebook at Paul Cornelius with a K. Actually, that was a C. Cornelius with a K. I was like, Paul Cornelius with a K, Jerry on Facebook, and the YouTube channel is Life of Pablo. So I'll be uploading more stuff on there. I definitely want you guys to see the commencement from my grandma. Well, not my grandma, but my auntie, 81 years old, getting her doctorate degree. Wow. Well deserved. You know, she's been around with the great Cicely Tyson, you know what I'm saying, James Earl Jones, Denzel Washington, you know, and for her to get that honor was like an amazing experience, you know, and I just want people to know that, man, whatever dream or goal you have, like, keep that in the back of your head, because you're going to have naysayers telling you this isn't a good job, or this, how you going to make money off of this? Are you sure is this a safe route? And a lot of times it's not always about being safe. It's about knowing deep down inside what you feel is best for you. But again, it's at PAUL, the letter C, Jerry for Instagram, and then Paul Cornelius Jerry on Facebook with the K. I just started a TikTok, but I'm not on it as much, but it's the same as my Instagram, Paul C. Jerry.
Mm-hmm. So just to let everybody know that his Instagram, Paul C. Jerry, it's linked down below. The link is there. All you got to do is click it. PV Designs, his painting.
Oh, shoot. My bad. Is PV Designs.
Look, this is your stuff. So
my page is PV Designs with a Z at the end. You're going to see like a blue eye at the end of that. So, I mean, I do, like I said, logos, custom shoes. I just got a contract to do a basketball court and a tennis court near where my college is at. Is in Chrisfield, Maryland. So, I mean, just, you know, bringing people visions of life, you know, and I love it. And if I could leave y'all with a couple quotes, one quote that I live by too is, tough times don't last, but tough people do. And nothing beats a failure but a try. I try till I die. Therefore, I never fail. And my favorite one is, a lot of people died just so I could have a life. So that's why I give my life as a sacrifice.
Thank you so much, Paul.
Oh, no problem.
Thank you for joining me tonight on The Missing Link. Definitely go back when you get a chance. Check out the chat. They love you.
I do need to check out the chat. I'm so sorry, guys, if I haven't seen.
Oh, no. You can go back and check it. They know that you love them, and they love you. Like,
I'm gonna follow everybody back. I promise. Okay? I promise I follow everybody back. Okay, it's no problem.
We believe you, but I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much, Mr. Paul Jerry. Thank you so much to everyone that joined us tonight. Thank you for everyone that left a comment in the chat. Definitely don't forget to like this video. Don't forget to subscribe if you have not. I am your host, Miss Sabrina Seoul, and this is the
one and only.
Until the next link, guys. I'll see you later. Love you.
Definitely. Love you guys. Take care.